Hi everyone, this is Jim Egan, head of school Synapse School with the final Friday update of the 2022-23 school year. I'm going to try to keep it short, but it is the final update. So I do have some thoughts as you head off to summer and think about next year. But first, we just closed. How do I even begin to say thank you to the entire community for what was Gym Day? You can see there's signs. There's my office is just full of nice notes and gifts, and it's just incredible, right? I mean, I think I think a lot of schools have the culture of care, right? They do, particularly elementary schools, middle schools, right? We're a TK8. But our school is about care and compassion and love and admiration and affection and celebration to the maximum, right? That's what we do here. And I was showered with that yesterday. I woke up this morning tired from all of the affection for me as head of school after 10 years here, which is still hard for me to believe that I've been here 10 years. I like being out front to a certain extent, right? I'm making these videos, but I was really taken aback and overwhelmed yesterday by the outpouring of emotion. And my wife and son were flown in. All this was a surprise, right? I think most parents know that, but I had no idea because it's not something I expect, right? It's not something I came into this job thinking about. And but my son, we do a closing circle every year. It's a tradition. It's wonderful. And my son and my wife came, and they felt compelled to speak too. And what my son, who's soon to be 22, spoke about, and we talked about last night over late night tacos, was the incredible amount of love that was showcased and shared here without sarcasm, without deflection, right? Like, oh, don't tell that to me. Oh, just embracing it, really showing it. And he was moved by that because it's not something he experienced. Growing up, he didn't go to Synapse. He didn't have that community as a school. It's not something he experienced in high school, certainly not something he experienced in college. And to see that happen in a genuine way with all of the staff and to see his dad have that experience was really meaningful for him, but certainly for me as well. And so I just want to say thank you again. I could go on and on and on about it, but enough of me. So it is the end of the year, and we close out. It's an emotional time again in almost every school because teachers really give themselves and care for their kids. Synapse, again, this is what we do. We immerse ourselves in the emotional lives of children, of families, of our colleagues, of our community broadly in the neighborhood. This is our life. And so there is a sort of a letdown, but we're still here working. We had meetings today. I have a few meetings as well. We had someone hit the curb and break a sprinkler for buildings 1 and 2. So, the fire department has to check things out. It's ongoing, but students are leaving, families are going off for the summer. And so students too can be very emotional, right, about this time of year. So parents, let them adjust to the summer. Some are gonna be fine right away, but some really have a hard time because kids, I would say some adults too, like predictability, like patterns, like continuity, and all of a sudden this sort of continuity breaks. And so as you go off to the summer, I want you to think about a few things with your kids, allowing them to adjust, allowing them some space to, right, to have time for friends, for curiosity, free time. And if you feel compelled to sort of jump into academics over the summer, what I suggest you do is really limit any sort of structure around that and read to your kids, read with your kids, right? And if you want to really look at mathematics, I know that's often something we talk about around Synapse. If you're staying local or if you're traveling, try to really bring the math that is happening in their lives around them into the conversations, right? You can do this on the road. You can do this at home as well. Like, talk about it in terms of real world application. I would hesitate to advocate for too much structured schooling over the summer. You may have different opinions, that's okay, but I think kids definitely need to learn, right? There's lots of studies about learning loss over the summers, but they don't need a whole lot of structured time this time of the year. So that's my opinion, my 2 cents. And before I say adios, I did want to also point something out, because we're working on electing and selecting a changemaker for next year. But this year's changemaker, Thich Nhat Hanh, was chosen by our community very deliberately, because we felt we needed to be mindful, right? Coming out of the emergency phase of the pandemic, how do we really root ourselves in the present moment? And I think it was the perfect changemaker for this year to have this advocate, but also this monk who embodied being present, be our anchor here at Synapse. And I thought about this a lot throughout the school year, and it certainly culminated yesterday for me, because it was such a joyous, marvelous experience. For me, hopefully for everybody else too. It usually is. The kids were having a lot of fun, water fights and taping teachers to the wall and things like that. But I think about this often when I listen to music that albums from iconic bands or songs from sort of legends. Like, did they know that they captured like a magical moment, right? Did they know? Did the Beatles know? When they recorded, so much of what they recorded, did they know they were in this moment that was not going to be replicated, right? When Led Zeppelin recorded Stairway to Heaven, did they know that this was it? And I've been speaking with parents about this for years, and the constructivists, like, do you know? How do you know? And I was part of a cycling team in Syracuse, New York, a long time ago. We also did triathlon, and I was riding along on our group ride. It was probably 10 of us on the team, and we were competing, and we were doing really well, and we were sort of a known local team in upstate New York, and we had so much fun, and we loved to be with each other. And the guy who put the team together, his name is John Parker. He said to me, as we sort of drifted off the back of the group, he said, look around. It was a beautiful summer day, upstate New York, gorgeous Finger Lakes. He's like, this is it. And I said, what do you mean it's it? He's like, this is it. This is as good as it gets right now. He's like, just be here right now. See this? This is as good as it gets. And then he said, because it's going to change, and things are going to happen. I think I was in my late 30s. He's like, people are going to have kids, people are going to move, people are going to get sick, people are going to just drift. And so capture this right now, pay attention right now to this moment. And he said, let's go. And then we went back to the workout. And I think he's right, that you need to recognize that moment. And I certainly did yesterday. And if you had that kind of year here at Synapse, parents, or anyone you're watching, like, if you have those moments where you sort of have an indication somewhere that, like, wow, this is really great, just be present. Don't race off. Let it be. Make the space for that, because it will change, and you have to let it go, right? You can't hold on. It does change. That cycling team, he was right. People get older. People had illness. I moved away, and the team shifted to a different type of team. But there was that moment in time where it was just really wonderful, and that was the point. So this school year, the end of this school year, was that for me. We saw the school really start to open up. People were around, parents were around. I hope this continues in the fall. We are going to make some changes internally to help facilitate that. But you saw the sort of bloom of Synapse once again after a few years that were a little less colorful. So I want to thank you for a great year, and have a super summer. We're around. Fill out the survey that we sent. We really want to hear your feedback. And I want to again thank you for yesterday, but more importantly for just a tremendous, super year. So have a good summer, and we'll see you in the next school year. Take care.